Guys,
Thank you.
I did say this was going to be intense. I've sat down for the first time today. I've actually been standing for the rest of the sessions. I packed myself a lunchbox and Steve this morning. I said to him, this is going to be intense. And there's always lessons along the way of how to schedule things differently, etc. But no regrets. This has just been so unbelievably inspiring, and there's more to come. I am so thrilled that Kristen Lunman has said yes to the unknown by actually saying yes to come onto this virtual stage with us today. Kristen's got an incredible story. She was the CEO of Hatch. She's been one of the real pivotal people in helping women understand investing and thinking differently about their financial well-being, which is absolutely phenomenal. And she's now on a new journey, which I'm frothing about. I'm like fangirling from afar, here for it, so excited. And I'm just thrilled that you said yes to the unknown and that you're here to talk about saying yes to the unknown. Over to you. And welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks. Super cool to be here. I love following Renita because we've got some similar themes, which is really fun. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to lead an exceptional life, and that's a really important word to me. I take it with everywhere I go, with every business I start. It actually ends up being a core value of the businesses that I found, because who wants to be normal? Like, I don't mean exceptional in the term of being elitist, like I'm better than anyone else, but like different. I've always just wanted to be different. I've witnessed this very North American way of living that you get trapped in the rat race, and everyone has to look this way and have this house and have this car. And I was raised by a single mom. Had a pretty bumpy childhood in scarcity, and I feel as though that has that has maybe given me a little bit of the bones to be different, because I felt different and I just had to embrace that. So, but I do think that all of you also want to lead exceptional lives. That's why you're here. And it's probably not why you're not kind of traipsing along the same journey as everyone else in life. And I think after 20 years, I've cracked the code to living an exceptional life. Now, my greatest fear is that we don't. And I've spoken to hundreds of women as part of this new venture that we're starting called PowerSuit. And my greatest fear is that we're going to get to the end of our lives and look back and like, we played it too safe. We didn't take risks. We didn't push ourselves. And like, that's not exceptional. And I just would hate for us to have those regrets. So I'm like, what's the code? What's the code? And I feel like after 20 years of like bumps and bruises and learning and trying new things, I've cracked it. So I'm going to share that to you today and with you today. And it is saying yes to the unknown. It is saying yes, the power of yes. And before I jump into I have to caveat, because I know that women get burdened with yes. We're the ones that write the minutes and run the DEI committees at work and get the birthday cake and traipsing food in and holding events. And we're the ones that do that because we say yes. So there's strategic yeses and smart no's. So like, we got to say no to all the stuff in life that doesn't take us like one step closer to our purpose or goals or objectives or leading an exceptional life, so that we can say yes to the right things, the things that get us closer. So I've gotten really good at discerning what that is, but it is a practice. I also come from a long line of really fierce Wahine women. I sound Canadian, but my lineage is here in New Zealand, and my great-great-grandmother marched and was one of the first women in the world to vote. My Nana was incredible through the Great Depression and war times, and marvelous stories, lived to 100. Bless you, Nana, so cool. And my mom raised me and my brothers as a single mom. She of course, moved from New Zealand. She lived in the Australian outback for 6 years. She traipsed across Afghanistan and the Himalayas, and she landed in Yellowknife, Canada, and raised us. And she set sail around the world at the age of 60 and spent 10 years on a boat doing that. And I had the real pleasure of kind of having these role models in my life. So you could just be like, yeah, but you've had role models to kind of that have led exceptional lives. But I'm like, nah, it is a practice. It is leading the practice of saying yes and kind of going against the grain and status quo and like living that life that we can all look back on and go, yes, is an actual practice. And there's 3 things I do to get there. And so the first is that I back myself to learn by doing. This is really important because we've all learned to bike ride, that's probably, or maybe learn a language or a musical instrument, and you have to do all of those things while you're doing them. So why women don't put their hands up, I get it, we're beaten down, the system, all that, but like we underestimate ourselves and it's hurting our careers. And so we have to, Richard Branson said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, take it and then figure it out on the way. And I'm a big believer in that because like we have huge capability of adaptability, our AQ, adaptability quotient and emotional quotient, super high, and IQ, which gives us this incredible ability to learn. So step into the thing, and we can learn by doing. There's facts through our entire lives that have shown us we can learn while doing. So why not step into that opportunity, the new job, the new project that you know next to nothing about, sell that you can learn, because that's what organizations are paying us for, is to learn and the mastery of new skills. And we've absolutely got this. We are curious, we have low egos. That is the ultimate mindset to learn. And so I love being a beginner. I go into rooms of groups of people and meeting rooms, and I always feel like I'm like the beginner in the room, and I've just learned to embrace that, because guess what? It is a superpower. It is how you learn and you can master. It's when you feel like you know everything or you're around know-it-alls, they've limited their learning and their growth as a result. So absolutely, you can back yourself to learn by doing. The second is that, and Renita touched on this, is I am really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, to caveat that, I am uncomfortable while I'm uncomfortable, but I've become comfortable with that state. Very meta, but I know I'm doing the right thing when my gut in my stomach is like it's tense and it's scary, and my breathing is maybe a bit fast, and there's alarm bells going off in my brain, the fight or flight things. Like, that's when I know this is probably the right thing to do. And it is a practice. It is a muscle to be trained. Confidence, if you don't use it, you lose it. So athletes do it every day. And I've been really fortunate to be in high performance environments as an athlete growing up, competing at a really high level. And guess what they do? They train. Every day they stretch a little bit further, and they practice being uncomfortable. We learn to hurt, we learn to fail. We've got all that stuff that comes with pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones, but we need to do it in our careers. A fantastic documentaries on people climbing Everest and rowing around the world. These are all people that have spent a lifetime being uncomfortable to get to these moments in life. So it's a practice I employ when I'm feeling scared. It's probably the right thing for me to do. And the last thing is that I look at, and someone commented to me a few weeks ago, they're like, you know what I love about you, Kristen? I'm like, do tell. And they said, you ignore the downside risk and you just look at the upside opportunity. And that's also practiced. That's when you're given an opportunity, you think of all the things that can go right. Because everything can go right. What if it all went to plan? How big could this thing be? What is the risk of me not doing the thing? And I always look at that and I'm like, ooh, if this worked, I don't want to be, having lost that. I don't go to all the things that could go wrong and why I'm not fit for it. And oh, this feels really risky. I'm like, nah, I consider this is going to be inevitable, that it's going to be big and great. Be it a big business or a successful book launch or whatever. Now, if I fail and fall down, I iterate. It's something I've learned, so I'm better anyway. But I absolutely quell all of the thoughts and all the niggly things in my brain that tell me that this thing isn't going to work, and I focus on the upside risk. So those are the three practices that I employ in order to say yes to the unknown. It literally is a deliberate practice. It doesn't come by accident. It's a practice skill that I feel like I've mastered through lots of random things. I found myself in different countries for school. I've moved my kids across the world to live in a new country. I've always found I've learned learning surfing, you know, as an older woman. I did weird things, like when I went to Mexico for an exchange for school and didn't know the language. I've landed in northern British Columbia to finish my uni degree without you know, absolute culture shock. And so again, that's the scary things. But I've always found myself I picked myself up, and it's absolutely made me a stronger person. So my offer is, if anyone wants to have a coffee or connect or wine, reach out. Really happy to do that. And you know, give you, hopefully, like, really cheer you on to kind of maximize your life and say yes to the unknown. And my ask is that you check out powersuit.com. It's our new venture, and like, we are all about this, like, how do we get more women living exceptional lives and giving them confidence to live out their careers on their own terms. So powersuit.com, we've got free content and a podcast. We'd love you to join the movement without the E, Powersuit without the E, and look forward to connecting hopefully with some of you. Thanks so much for having me today.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely incredible. I actually took a lot of notes there. I love the strategic yes, smart no. I loved that whole practice, you know, and discipline around confidence. I'm a big believer in that. I love finding the reasons to say yes to things. Just for the questions, Kristen, you're based in New Zealand. Whereabouts in New Zealand are you?
I'm in Wellington, but I come up to Auckland a lot, and I also am going down to Christchurch in April.
Amazing. We've actually got quite a lot of our community in Wellington. Amazing, amazing ladies. So I think you'll be having a few people taking you up on that offer for coffee or wine. Thank you so much for being here and for saying yes